That's how we've won all year, team, right? Thank you all for the 20 points, man. Give us a chance at the end. I got 3 words for you. You like that?
So he's not really been able to complete anything to him either since then. And this is another interception off the tip. And it's Kenny Moore. Downs, Minnesota. And here they are from their back patio again. Trouble in the end zone. Could we have another safety? It looks like he got back to about the
No, that's
one.
a safety.
Are they going to call it?
Yeah, he was in the grasp there, and as soon as they have him in the grasp.
Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, Tennessee Titans Weekly. Jacques. Oh, Jacques. Oh, hello, folks. Hello. How is everybody doing? Welcome.
Coming from Titan Town.
Yes, sir. 2-0 town around here.
2-0.
Absolutely, man. So I hope everyone is doing well today and has had a good week. As we go into the weekend, we're about to play Team SKOL, as in the Minnesota Vikings. Those horns,
Right.
A rare opponent. We don't play them that often, once every 4 years. So, and it's in Minnesota. So, yeah, man.
Right. And every time we play them, we lose to them. So that's something that we got to keep in mind, too. I think the last time we played them, Mariota played, and I think Mariota got hurt, I believe. So I think it was about – you probably might be right. It's probably about four years ago when we played the Vikings, and they came to Tennessee, and they beat us, and they had Anthony Barr and everybody. So I think they still got Anthony Barr as well. But, yeah,
he got hurt. Anthony Barr got hurt. He's hurt. I think he's out. Don't quote me. I think he's out for the season. I think he's up for a serious injury. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is a different Vikings team that we faced 4 years ago. So this is a unknown opponent. So it's going to be interesting to go into Minnesota in that new stadium because we never played in that stadium before. So we'll see how it goes, man. And are they allowing fans?
I don't know. That's a great question. From what I've heard, they're not. But I could be wrong. I know as of last week, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Got you.
But Tennessee fans, I'll tell you this, guys. Last week we talked about the Jags and how we felt, that the game could be a bit closer than what you might expect.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't see that for this game, man. I think we're going to handle them very well. I do.
I agree.
I do.
So just to say that, Hawk.
Yes.
So since you think we're gonna handle them, give me a reason why we can win the game. Since you just said, hey, we can handle them, you're going to handle them. Give me a reason, my brother.
All right. So when people turn the age of 30, that's a celebration, right? 30. Okay. But sometimes 30 is not a good number, especially when that is your ranked offense and your ranked defense. 30th in offense, 30th in defense.
Yeah,
that's awful.
That's no paper.
Yeah, that's awful. So for me personally, when I'm looking at this, I'm like, wow, like they're struggling all over the field. Last week against the Colts, they only put up 11 points. I mean, they had a better outing against the Packers in the points. They had 34 points against Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
But their defense allowed Jonathan Taylor to look like he was back in Wisconsin. I don't know if it's a Wisconsin-Minnesota thing, but he went off, the rookie for the Colts. Minnesota's struggling. You look at Kirk Cousins, 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He had 3 INTs in that last game by himself, and he's getting paid a lot of money, to be the quarterback. And I've been listening to the Vikings podcast. Man, they right now hate Kirk Cousins. Right, they hate him. They want to trade to get Jameis Winston. They're willing to do anything. They're like tank for Trevor Lawrence right now. So, man, I think the reason we'll win is for a myriad of reasons. I mean, one, they can't stop the run. They're absolutely awful at that, right? The Vikings have a lot of injuries, especially in the cornerback position. When you look at their DBs, their starting DBs that they currently have now, both of them will be out. Mike Hughes and the rookie Cameron Dantzler, they're both out. So, players like Jeff Gladney's going to have to step up. They're struggling right now. Harrison Smith is the only viable option they have in the defensive backfield. Their linebackers, Kendricks is the only linebacker that's really doing anything. Everyone else is struggling, man. Minnesota which I felt before the season started could be a win for them. Again, that's been a month or so ago. They're not a good football team. And I don't think they're 0-2 for a fluke. I think they're legitimately 0-2. So the way we'll win, just play football. Run the football with Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry will get over 100 yards. And people might not know, Derrick Henry's number 2 in the league in rushing, as much as people might not know that. I think you allow Kirk Cousins to throw the ball, and the DB should be doing this right now. They should be licking their fingers, licking their chops, getting ready to get some interceptions, man, because it'll be there for them. So there's so many reasons why I think we'll win. I think they're going to have a struggle for our receivers because of their DBs. Look for Corey Davis to have a heck of a game. And, I'm not afraid of their tight end, Kyle Rudolph. I know at times, tight ends is where we struggle. But, I just think we just play our game. We'll win handily. That's just what I feel. What for you, man?
So treat this like this is going to be an actual preseason game, literally. Like you said, their offense is 30th and their defense is 30th. And that's concerning. Not a bit concerning, but very concerning. I mean, Kirk Cousins only had 111 yards of passing, dude. That is ridiculous. Literally, you're not going nowhere with that. And you have Jefferson, the rookie wide receiver. You got Tajay Sharp. You got Adam Thielen. Yeah, they're good receivers, but they're not stars. You can argue and say Thielen is a good receiver, which he is good. But at the same time, it's like, hey, we can be stopped. Now, we do have injuries. Yes, we do in our secondary. But this will be a good game for the rookie Christian Fulton to get going because I know Chris Jackson is hurt. Butler is nicked up, you can tell. You got Joseph out there. So this will be a good game for Byard and them. Like you said, they're going to be licking their chops, man, because he threw 3 interceptions last week. And then I think with the game in Green Bay, I think he threw 1 or 2. I think it's 1 or 2.
Yeah, 1,
so,
yes.
1, okay. So, yeah, he has a tendency to throw interceptions. So it's the opportunity of turnovers is going to be there. And the Titans have been winning in the turnover differential since week 1. So that's something that we've been able to do is cause turnovers. So that's something to look big for our defense. Also, this is going to be this could actually be a big game for Derrick Henry where we've seen Derrick Henry start slow. He hasn't been able to get the holes like he's wanted to because everybody's stacking the box. People are not realizing that. You got 7 or 8, 9, 10 people in the box. I mean, it's hard to run against that. And he's still getting like 80, 90, 100 yards here. So what that tells me is now, okay, hey, they don't have Anthony Barnes. You just iterated that he's injured. So that's a big thing for us. And that helps us out. And the linebackers for the Vikings are not that good. So it's kind of where they don't know us and we don't know them. But we have the advantage to be like, hey, we have a Derrick Henry out here. And this could be the game that picks Derrick Henry up and gets him back to a form how he was last year when he was starting fast instead of starting slow. So, man, like you said, it's going to be a good team win. It's just so many factors that can go into this win. Hell, Cameron Batson was eating last night. I mean, not last night. Last week, he was getting in the mix. It's time for Raymond to get in the mix. So this would be a big game for him as well. So the way Tannehill's playing, he's going to distribute this ball evenly across the board. We get Darrington Evans back. That's another thing too. That's exciting because now we get to see what he can do. It's almost like a preseason game. We get Vic Beasley back. He gets to eat. So just look for this to be an exciting game to where we went up big fast last week when we played the Jazz. We were up 21-7 in the first half.
Yep.
So
just like that.
That's just like that. So that tells me, hey, you can put up points against the Vikings because Green Bay was able to do it and the Colts were able to do it. And Green Bay is just as good as us and the Colts are just as good as us, right? Yeah. So it just tells me like, hey, this is what we have. If you score early, this can be a huge blowout. So that's a couple of reasons why I think we'll win the game.
Yep. Hey, man, I totally agree with that, sir. I do, man. So speaking on that, on how confident we are in us winning, I think they do have us as a favorite. I saw on ESPN of some analysts that think the Vikings will actually beat the Titans. So I thought that was interesting. But Scott Van Pelt in particular, he spoke very, very candid on that. So in saying this, it's not like, say, a guarantee we're going to win.
Right.
Okay, what are some reasons as to why we can lose against these Minnesota Vikings?
Not being familiar with our opponent. So that's something where the Titans, not familiar, we struggle, okay? You've seen it last year when we played Gardner Minshew. We didn't have no tape on them. Nothing. So we didn't know our opponent, literally. So when the Titans go into unfamiliar territory, they tend to struggle a little bit, but also tend to prevail. But it's just the big thing with us is not being focused in the secondary. The secondary, especially our corners, are going to really have to step up. This is a game that if you can't stop Adam Thielen, Tajay Sharp, Jefferson, then what happens when you play against Juju Smith-Schuster? What happens when you play these premier receivers? Now, granted, we don't have Adoree.
No paper.
We don't have Adoree. So this is what Christian Fulton, hey, you're our future, right? Yep. It's time for you to step up. And I've seen some things. And granted, people, we haven't had a preseason, okay? This is the results of not having a preseason. It's you're seeing struggling rookies, struggling veterans. It's hard to get things going. It's hard to get in first and second gear and stay motivated. So that's something that we have to look at. But for me, it can be the secondary that can cost us the game, and it also the focus of not being focused and not being familiar with your opponent and not studying your tape, man. What about you?
So for me, I think how we can lose this football game is if we don't keep number 33 in check in purple, and that's Dalvin Cook, okay? The very talented running back who just signed a big contract last week, deservingly so. Dalvin Cook is their best player. Flat out, he's their best weapon. You know, Dalvin Cook hasn't had a big year so far. He's only had 113 yards rushing, but he does have 4.3 yards per carry, and he has 3 touchdowns. So when you look at Dalvin Cook, the reason why he probably hasn't run that much is because they're behind, right? They got to throw the ball, and we're putting it in Kirk Cousins' hands. We shut that down, then it's a problem. I mean, Kirk Cousins he did have 3 interceptions again just last week, so he wasn't involved. So Dalvin Cook, you know, he does catch the football some as well, but we at times as an organization, we have struggles with really good running backs, okay? James Robinson for the Jags.
No paper!
Yes, sir. James Robinson had a heck of a game against us, right? He's a pretty good rookie running back. He ain't no Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is a heck of a running back. So we have to keep number 33 in check. We can't allow him to go wild, okay? That is the only opportunity or chance for the Vikings to win is if Dalvin Cook has a big game. You know, keep him in a box. You know, let Kirk Cousins beat you. Let the receivers beat you. Put a bracket even on Thielen and and we should know about Tajay Sharp. He's the former Titan. He'd been with us for 5 years. So our corners should know how to check Tajay. And Justin Jefferson's a rookie. So, you know, we don't know what to expect. And I'm not worried about Kyle Rudolph. I know tight ends have been a struggle for us every time. This might be the game. He has a great game probably. He only has 3 catches. Right. Herb Smith Jr., the other tight end, only has 3 catches. But I really think we got to keep 33 in check, man. If we don't, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. We are, man. We are.
I agree.
So, Jacques, so do you have any concerns about this game at all, man? Is there any concerns, man?
Only thing that really concerns me is our corners. That's what really, really, really perks my concern is that we're so thin at corner, and it's luckily we're not playing a team like the Steelers right now. I mean, we do got to play them next week, so we know that. But we're not playing these high-powered receivers. And Gardner Minshew went off on us, okay? Kirk Cousins is not saying he's a bad quarterback. He's decent. He can go off when he goes off. Right. So that's the thing. That's what really concerns me is our corners. We need Adoree Jackson bad. I know Adoree is hurt, and I get Adoree's hurt, man. But if we can literally leave him there just to let him rest, to heal up and get ready for game 5 or 6, I'm with it, right?
Yep.
The problem is you have Jonathan Joseph out there who was kind of slow, but he's done pretty decent. Yep. You have Christian Fulton, who's a rookie. He got an interception last week, yes, but that was a tip drill. We can't really count that. You wasn't in coverage, bro. Then he was getting beat on some plays. And these are Jags receivers. Now, I'm not saying nothing about the Jag receivers are bad because they got some talented receivers. They got LaVisca Chenault, Kenneth Cole. They got DJ Shark. So they're there, but what if Tajay Sharp goes off on us? You know what I mean? And not saying it'll happen, but just in case. And Byard didn't have a good game last week. So that's my concern is the secondary. And also, one more thing, the pass rush. Man, we ain't getting no pass rush, man. Nope. We got Clowney. Now, like I said, Vic Beasley is coming back, okay? He hasn't played in a Titans uniform. So that's something to look forward to where see Clowney on one side, Vic on the other side. And I'm interested to see who gets that push. Who gets that? Because we are able to get pressures. We just can't get no hands on them. Then we had 1 sack last week, and that was Crawford, right?
Right.
Crawford's been beasting a little bit. We get penetration, but we can't literally can't touch the quarterback. So those are my two concerns, man. Is the corners and in the pass rush, man. We got to get that going, dog. What about you?
So, dude, bro, facts, no paper on everything you just said, man. Those are some very valid concerns. For me, my concern is our offensive line. Are we going to show up like we did against Jacksonville and Denver and just sort of, play halfway when it comes to running the football? Because Minnesota's going to stack the box again. They're like, well, we're going to stop Derrick Henry. We're not going to allow Derrick Henry to go wild. We'll take our chances with Ryan Tannehill, which that's why we're 2-0, because Ryan Tannehill has been balling out of control, ladies and gentlemen. 6 touchdowns. Man. He leads the NFL in touchdown passes. So you have to look – and no interceptions, by the way. So my concern is, will the offensive line finally step up against a really bad football team when it comes to the run game? If we do, then it lets me know, okay, we're good. If we struggle in run blocking against the 30th ranked defense on the run, I have concerns long term, okay? I do. I have again, we do have Darrington Evans coming back, so maybe that'll change everything in that regard, right? But so the teams know, like, okay, Evans is in the game. We don't know if they're going to run or pass. We know when Derrick Henry's in the game, they're going to run, so just stack everybody up and just make your tackles or whatever. But my concern is the offensive line. Will the offensive line step up to go against a really bad run defense? Derrick Henry should have a good game. I'm going to say that. If he has maybe 50, 60 yards rushing on like 20-something carries and we're not really showing the effort in that regard, I have a long-term concern for our offensive line. But we'll see. I expect them to do pretty well. So I'm just saying that's my concern there. It is.
I agree.
Yep.
So, Hawk, we're going to say this. So we know the game is coming up. We know how we have players.
Yep.
Who you think is going to be the player of the game? Who's going to have a big game?
Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, number 22. Okay. King Henry, the Heisman Trophy winner. I think he's going to go up to Minneapolis, and he's going to show them what's up, man. I think Derrick Henry is I'm sure he might be hearing a few things. This is how fans are going to do. Anytime you might look like you're not being the same as you had been, you're going to hear from it. I think Derrick Henry is going to run with a purpose. I hope, we don't get the ball 30 sometimes to him, 20 carries, maybe at best. Darrington Evans may can get 10 carries or something like that. I think if the offensive line, if they do what they need to do, Derrick Henry gets past Kendricks, the linebacker, it's curtains. These DBs are third, fourth string corners that are out there starting right now. They don't want to see 22 running in the open field. No one wants to see him in the open field. So let's block up front, guys. They always say for the boys. So for the boys, let's block up front. Let's get some holes open. Let Derrick Henry run the football. Derrick Henry should be the player. He's my player of the game. I think he'll have a great game, man. What about for you, sir?
I'm going to go off the radar and say Darrington Evans.
Okay.
It's going to be his counterpart. Like you said, Derrick Henry is going to eat, but I feel like this is going to be a coming out game from Darrington. That way you don't got to run Derrick 30 times, right. 25, 26 times. You can literally let Darrington eat. And I feel like Darrington is hungry and he's been ready to get out there and eat. And not even – I don't think he's just going to show out in the run game, but I think he's going to contribute in the pass game in a big way as well. So be looking out for those wheel routes, those out routes, those screen passes, because he's perfect for the screen. I mean, literally, he's a threat, an extra threat that we will have at receiver. I mean, literally, you can go in, 2 wide outs, and you got Darrington Evans back there. Even if you want to get fancy with it, you can even put Henry out there as well. You got options. So for me, it'll be Darrington Evans. He's going to have, to me, a breakout game. Nothing too crazy, but I feel like just because Henry's going to garner all that attention, when Darrington's out there, they're going to be like, who is this cat, right? Yeah. So for me, it'll be Darrington.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, well, hopefully that's if he does, and we're winning the football game, no question. If he is the player of the game, man. Right. Wow. All right, so as far as who's going to win this football game, I think we've kind of made clear as to who we think is going to win. So who do you feel will win the football game, and what do you feel the score will be, sir?
So I feel like the Titans are going to win this football game, and I don't think it's going to be as close as last week's game. I actually think we'll put up like at least 35 to probably 14 for me.
Wow, bro.
And I know that's saying something big,
yes.
But for me, why I say this score is because Titans are something the Titans have been struggling to do in years past is put up points early.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, what showed me was Tannehill was able to put up points early, and how he did it was against a mediocre secondary, okay? Jacksonville has a mediocre secondary, and the Vikings have this game actually scares me for the Vikings because it's like, okay, if the Titans get up early and the Titans get in a rhythm, it might not stop. Right. You see what I'm saying? So for me, 35-14. What about you?
Wow, dude, you have the same score that I have, at least for the points that we're going to score. I think 35, no question. I think we can get 35 points. I think 35-17. I just got you by a field goal. I do think that this is an opportunity. You know, the Titans have been scoring. You know, they scored 33 against Jacksonville. Though Jacksonville had a poor performance yesterday against the Miami Dolphins. So maybe the Jags defense – well, you've just said it. I mean, the Jags defense, they're poor right now. They're not a good football team defensively. And so I think the offense has been sort of hiding that. But I think with Minnesota, I think their defense is worse than Jacksonville. And and I actually think their offense is worse than Jacksonville, though I think Minnesota has more talent on offense than Jacksonville, as weird as that is. I think really Minnesota offensively, they have talent. They're just not winning football. They're just not playing well. So I think they're going to have a hard time stopping us. I really do. Running, throwing. I think Tannehill can have a great game. Dude, receivers should eat this game. I know you and I spoke earlier about A.J. Brown before the show. You know, A.J. Brown right now is on the injury report. I'm not sure if he's going to play or not. It's almost to a point to say he's out. Okay,
he's out. Yeah.
I would say A.J. Brown, don't play. It's okay. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, rest. You know,
treat it like preseason.
Right,
treat
exactly.
it just like preseason.
Yep. But CD84, let's eat, bro. Adam Humphries, let's eat that. And ladies and gentlemen, you know who's one of the league leaders in touchdowns as far as tight ends? Jonnu Smith. He has 3 touchdowns, right? And so, you know, when you look at what you said earlier, facts, no paper, super, is when you said that Tannehill throws the ball evenly, and I think he'll do that. I mean, you look at, you know, Corey Davis has 13 catches. Adam Humphries has 13 catches. Jonnu Smith has 12 catches. So, you know, I think that same formula works against the Vikings, man. Yep.
And something that I'm starting to like about Humphries. Humphries is our possession receiver. What he's supposed to do, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. Humphries is there. I'm literally looking at my TV screen like, okay, where's Humphries? Right there. He's sitting in the flats. Boom. Where's Humphries? He's sitting in his zone. Boom. Got him. Where's Humphries? The dink and dunk is really what is getting us to the point where we're becoming dangerous because Tannehill is able to dink and dunk and dink and dunk and boom, he'll strike, right?
Right.
I've seen a lot of people complain why we're not throwing downfield. We don't have to throw that. We don't have to throw 50, 60. We don't have to because of the threat of just the short pass and the time of possession. And something is where it's like, hey, we got Derrick Henry back here. Who's going to eventually become the Derrick Henry? Oh, people just wait on it. Literally, we know how slow he gets just to start, right?
That's right.
He's just
man.
He's like a diesel engine. He got to warm up. Just give it time. But now you got the threat of lightning back there. You got thunder and lightning, right?
That's right.
So
that's right.
It's one of those things. You just added more weapons. Now, people imagine once we get the full arsenal, man, we're dangerous, dog.
That's right, sir. That's right. Absolutely. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, that ends the show, y'all. We're so excited, man. We're trying to be 3-0 guys. We're trying to lead the AFC in this thing. We're trying to make a playoff run to the Super Bowl. And so let's get it started this week against the Vikings. As always, you can message us in email at TennesseeTitansWeekly@gmail.com, as well on Instagram at Tennessee Titans Weekly, and on Twitter at Titans Weekly 24/7.
Also, remember, guys, turn your notification bells on, so anytime we go live, anytime a new video pops up in your feed, you get the notification bell. Also, remember, like the video. It puts in the algorithm. It gets us out there. Share the video. Like I always tell you, share the video to your auntie, your uncle, your cat, your dog, your hamster. I don't care. Share the video to your Vikings fans. Share the video to the Saints fans. Share the video to other NFL fans because we know your team. Just hit us up and holler at your boys. So, hey, all I say, man, tighten up and let's beat them Vikings, man.
Yep, that's right, man. Down with the SKOL. Let's put the SKOL to the ground. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the show, guys. We will see y'all later. We'll do our post game right after the game. So check us out on Sunday. Tighten up, baby.
Tighten up.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.